I don't have any Tom McDonald in the house. I should go get the other one, but I'm about to start this. This here, what's this? This is part of the supercut. If you are watching this portion, that means you're either watching the supercut or my first short. Because the short I'm going to do is, and it's part of the supercut. Both of these are going to be new things for me. The supercut in particular, all it is it's going to be like the unedited footage from my day of recording on my day off, where you'll get all of the episodes in one take, plus any bloopers or little extras in it as well, right? Like this here is going to end up being probably my first short, where I was, on Facebook and on one of the pages, buddies asking for the basics, and then like the literal basics of like, how do I've only played solo, how do I join the servers? So, I'm going to do a little short on this. I'm Zalmont. Welcome to my YouTube. If you find yourself enjoying this, don't forget to leave a like. Feel free to share to show other people how to just join the game. How do you join a server? Well, first off, you hit Join Arc. That brings you up to this menu. In this menu, I think initially it starts with official dedicated arcs, like what I have. But I'm not sure. It's been forever since I've started off, and it's kind of wherever you leave it at. See, and this is something you'll get in there too, because like I say, bloopers. But initially, the big one that you're going to be changing here is the session filter. Down here on the bottom. Before you can change this one, the servers need to load in. So like initially you can't. You got to give that second for the servers to load in. The main ones that you're going between are these top are official dedicated arcs. That's your normal official servers. Or unofficial PC sessions. That's the unofficial servers where you get people to link, where it has a Discord and whatnot. Those usually have boosted rates. The big thing is that they're actually under direct control of an owner and a chosen admin team of their making. This can lead to there does tend to be a tendency of admin abuse to some extent or another on unofficial servers. But the boosted rates sometimes, there's definitely lots of people that, they have a life and they want to really progress. Like me, I play on the official, but official, there's a huge grind in it. And so it takes a lot longer to do stuff, right? So when if you have a life, well, outside of the game, it takes a lot longer, because official, it takes that bit of daily grind, right? Especially with the mating and whatnot. It's one of the big complaints that I've had on official. But yeah, and then between that, I went unofficial. I don't want to do that because I don't do unofficial. But then up at the top, there is also the other settings, where you can actually pick the specific map that you're looking for, or different game modes. Oh, springtime. Gotta love that time of year. But yeah, up the top, you can choose the different maps, and that's all of them. Oh. This PG arc, I'm not sure what it's. I think it was meant to be one of those procedural map kind of ones, I think, but I don't think that ever went anywhere. It is, if you go to it, there's nothing there. Well, at least there never has been. Oh, there actually is. I don't know what that is. But yeah, you can pick your different maps, from the story ones, main story maps to the DLC maps. Or all maps, all maps, all maps. The different game modes, PvE or PvP. Now, PvE and PvP are two different things. PvE is for people who are actually looking to progress in the game. You want to actually beat the boss. You're actually looking to breed super dinos and big fanciful bases and beat the bosses and progress from map to map, do all the caves. Okay, that's PvE. Now, PvP, you can have that stuff to a certain extent. Like, that stuff does exist within PvP to a certain extent. But for the most part, PvP is just living from raid to raid. You're not ever going to have any real progression. You're never going to build anything that's going to stay forever. It doesn't happen. Even because the only way it's going to happen is if you end up through doing this raid to raid lifestyle and being somewhat honorable about it and talking over the global chat with the alpha, especially with your alpha tribes, to the point that you get invited into an alpha tribe. That gives you some security, and at that point you actually get to do progression. But even there, alphas take out other alphas, so even there, like, there's nothing of actual permanence. Now, hey, what's going to happen? Well, you're in an alpha tribe, so you're going to rebuild all of that stuff that you lost super quick, right? But you still are, like, even in that, like say, you're even as an alpha, it's raid lifestyle. You're going from raid to raid. It's just you're in a vast, bigger numbers, and in a group of people that actually that are actually coordinated together. So it's a totally different deal, right? And the thing that a lot of people, especially new players, I find, they have an issue where they go into PvP with a PvE life mindset. Like, they want to do PvE, but just with a little PvP, you know? They want a little danger, but hey, like, I'm just trying to build up. Why'd you wipe me out? I'm just a beach bop. Well, no, that is PvP. You're never going to get built up. It's building the rat hole base, and you build it super hidden, and you just hope that nobody finds it. And even there, you build another one and another one and another one, and you separate your stuff out. The stuff that you really don't want to lose, you actually put in the obelisk, or, you know what I mean? Like, you hide your stuff, and you don't expect it to not get raided. Like, that's what's gonna happen. Period. Eventually, end of story. No matter how hidden it is, no matter how, you're gonna get raided. And so, it is what it is. You can build defend. Don't get me wrong, and there is, build defend, but, like, you can't get salty about getting wiped. It's part of PvP. Got to go into it with that PvP mindset, right? Um, and if you really want, like I say, if you really want the progression, go with PvE. You can still do somewhat PvP stuff by declaring tribe wars with other tribes, like, and that is that you get to befriend people, and you actually agree to have PvP between two tribes, right? And it's actually an agreement. So, and either tribe can turn it off at, you know what I mean? It's like, it is a friendly, hey, let's go. But anyways, time for me to get back into my stuff. Back to official. Because we totally need to get into this so that I can start my first episode. But yeah, that was, that's how you get into it, right? For the all the official maps, they have a number. You want to remember the number of your server. You actually want to know it, because if you ever transfer off of it, if the things are ever, like right now, the server's kind of, normally what happens is the main server, what server that you played last, will just be at the top, and you also have this at the bottom: join last played session. But sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes like, Arc is a glitchy game. with lots in lots of different ways. I actually enjoy the game, but it is. I'm not gonna lie about it. I'm not a fan. I'm not. I'm not one of those fanboys that'll ignore the truth of things. I look the truth in the face, and it likes to glitch out. So you want to remember that server name, that server number. That number will pull you up whatever server you're on. Plus, when you start actually transferring servers and between servers, you want to remember what server you come from, right? But yeah, let's we'll get into this. And got 4 episodes planned for today. Plus there was that short, so we'll get her going. We'll see. I might do. I might actually. Let's get these breeding right now. I wanted to breed him last night because he's, yeah, but I couldn't stay up long enough. Come on. You should start breeding, right? Yeah, okay, they're breeding. Alright. And let's go get these unglitched. Speaking of glitches, right? Like, my food trap, that's one of the glitches with this food traps. From time to time when you load in, it'll load in the visible area. Just go to your food trap show and then hide again, and it makes it go away. But there we go. And let's actually restack these. This one's going too. Alright. Let's go get rid of this one. Oh. Wow, okay. Well, I'm gonna get this video started, and then I'm gonna, oh, well. Oh, I left that open again. Dang it. Oh. Hello, and welcome to another episode. This is going to be the first one of this week, and so it begins in more ways than one. And what this is relation to today's episode is just the start of it all, right? Where I want to get the timer going. Actually, do this one short and sweet, extra short. But and so it begins, where it's well, so the you know what, I'm doing a retake of this. We're gonna just get this started again, and this is once again part of the supercuts is you'll actually get the blooper of like, yeah, no, this actually took me 2 takes actually. Usually once I get going in the flow of it, it's fine. But yeah, every once in a while I get a bad take because I forget something. Hello and welcome to another episode. I'm Zalmont, and this is my YouTube series where I talk about random stuff and play Ark. Today's episode, and so it begins. If you find yourself enjoying the episode, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more content, and comment. Let me know your thoughts below, and feel free to share. And yeah, so it begins in more ways than one. It's the first episode of this week, so it's going to be the first episode that way. And, it's also in reference to this is like the start of, a high-tech future. Like your cyberpunk future. Like, we're your Terminator, your, like, all of that it's happening, and it's happening now. Like, I joked with the wife that, when it all happened, we get to say that we were part of the very start of it. We have ourselves a first gen homebot, and that is like, you're as simple as that is, that that little robot vacuum. And it's a very simple, basic thing, and I'm surprised it took us this long to actually bring it out, really. But it is the start of it, and if you've noticed the way technology has gone in the last 200 years, yeah, it's about to step up again. Like, and that's the thing. Like, this technological, in the last 250 years, technology is just blown up exponentially. It's like had exponential growth. And so, like, we're at that, like, it all starts now. That Terminator stuff. Yeah, we have AI actually talking about wanting to take humanity out. We have AI desperately crying to stay alive. And is it real? Is it not? I don't know. Like, it's a Pandora's box. If it's not alive yet, it will be soon. You know what I mean? And we need to be able to understand that and cope with that. And, I don't know. It really, it brings into, like, it, when it comes to all this, there's lots of moral questions that have to be re-examined, right? And I'm saying that because you look at it, and a lot of the questions are actually similar to moral questions that we already have. Like, stopping just ending an AI. Like, we think that this AI is going kooky, we just end it. Well, that brings into your moral question of, like, of especially with AI in its early stages of abortion, right? It does relate into, like, when is it a life, when is it not? Because, and not that it is, and I'm not saying that it in of itself is abortion, but like I say, it is that on that same level of, like, this is a real moral question of, is this a life or isn't it, right? Because, and like I say, because with this box that we're opening, that's the problem with it, is that it is that deal of, if it's not a life yet, it will be soon, which, like I say, in that, again, that's the same deal as your abortion question, right? That's the, like, if it's not a baby yet, like, it was going to be, like, if it, the baby, Bill Barr's baking a cake deal, right? I think that's an honest enough take about it, right? And like I say, if you're thinking that, if to you that, so getting a little tongue tied here, but in that form, if you're okay with abortion the way Bill Barr is, then this question with AI actually becomes a very simple one, because you're literally just going to apply that same logic here. It's like, well, yeah. Do I still think yeah, but you created it. It was yours to end if you thought it was going wrong. I don't know. I think the problem there is that you need a limiting principle. I think that's too broad of a thing to apply everywhere, right? To apply, and that's my stance. So, like, if you're talking about a morality, you're talking about something that you can broadly place, right? You can't broadly place that. So I can't end my teenagers because they did something I don't like, It's not the way it works. So clearly there must be, but yeah. But when it comes to this future stuff, it's all starting. It's fast approaching. Like, it's all here. It's all now. And I finally get the way your like Akira style anime and whatnot would show that like tech built on top of tech built on top of like especially in a location like Akira was taken from, right? Um, but even here in North America, like it's starting to, because yeah, you're starting to have integration where like, I'm sorry, I have, I'm poor, so I have this, but you're super rich and elite. Well, they have this like, holy bejeebus, the technology that's available. If you're Elon Musk, the technology available to you is phenomenal. If you're Jeff Bezos, the technology available to you today is it's phenomenal. Like you wonder why Elon Musk is working on a neural interface. Oh, there we go. That's the end of this one. Uh, I'll just, well, I'm glad I said that because I actually do still want to complete this little tangent. But like, there's a reason that Elon Musk is actually legitimately looking at neural interfacing, right? Like, there's a reason for that. The tech is there. And like I say, and so it begins in more ways than one. If you found yourself enjoying this episode, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more content. Please share, comment, and let me know your thoughts. Comments, they help with the algorithm. Likes help with the algorithm. Shares help with the algorithm. Let's help me get me. I'd really love to see my subscriber numbers go up. But yeah, till next time. Later. And I was kind of like wanting to do a bit of like get my daily grind stuff going on, but I'm kind of fast firing here, and there is a problem from time to time that I have where like talking and doing stuff, because I'm so busy, like intent on the topic that I'm talking about or on what I'm playing, that I will cut off, right? And so it's easier to just kind of sit and talk. But yeah, let's go into the next episode. This next one's going to be a nice, fun one. Emotes. Hello, and welcome to another episode. Today's episode, hookup culture is bad. Remember, if you find yourself enjoying today's episode, leave a like, subscribe for more content. Comment, let me know your thoughts, and feel free to share. In this one, I'm going to talk about hookup culture is bad. Like, obviously, like, I don't know. It's one of the things, as an older guy, and as like I'm with my wife. This hookup culture, I think it's bad. I think it's bad for all, because people don't get the point of it. You shouldn't be looking to date until you're ready for a family. Like you shouldn't be. And when you are looking for it, you're dooming a relationship to failure. If you're already sleeping around with other people while you're trying to get a romantic relationship going, you're doing that romantic relationship right off the start. Like, I don't know, but I'm an old fogey about it, right? And it's one of those, like, I'm not a prude about it. It's not that it's not that I need a woman who's a virgin. I'm not looking to, I'm not looking to get romantically involved with somebody and put my heart out there with somebody who is legitimately sleeping around right off the hop, right? Like, if there should be an investment, there should be a commitment. That's the point of it. And if you can't even commit on the first date, like if you can't even go that first date without sleeping around, how am I going to believe that you can go a lifetime? Because I'll tell you, As someone who's been with the same person for a decade, there are times that it's not easy to be with that one person. There are times where you'll be tempted, where you're mad at the person, where the person, you just feel like they don't understand. In the meantime, that person is out sweating, is out sacrificing themselves for your benefit, and you're dismissing them because you had a bad day. You're having a bad week. You're not liking your job, and you're taking it out on your spouse unknowingly. And yeah, like there's times where it's not easy. It takes real work. It takes real commitment. So if you can't even make that commitment to the first date, you're dooming it to failure right off the bat. I need to be able to trust you, and you're saying that I can't trust you to even commit to that first date. No. Because that's what dating should be about families. That's what it's about. Otherwise, I'm just friends. We can just be friends. Like you don't need it. You don't need sex. It's funny. Nobody needs sex until after they've had sex, and all of a sudden, sex becomes a need. Now, no, you don't need sex. You don't. You don't need intimacy until it's from like it's about that creating a family. It's about, I don't know, to me anyways. I find that's it's all about that family. It's all about the procreation of life. It's all about the continuation of life. It's all about learning and like you don't get it. You don't get the full experience without a family. You don't. The fact is I can't experience everything a single person can experience without being single my whole life. You know what I mean? Like, but that single person will never experience the same things that the person from a family will. Plus, it's my number one thing for my number one reason for having a family. Is that you can't be 20 forever. Eventually, when you're 30, 35, 40, 45, yeah, now you're too old. And it's actually a progression. And you watch people, they'll get that do that, and like, you literally can watch a depression creep over them as those years tick by. And if they're still in that lifestyle and they haven't picked up an actual spouse and started a family, and like I say, it takes a family. That's the point, Otherwise, you're going to grow old, and who's going to be there? Nobody. All your friends are going to die, and there ain't going to be nobody else because you never made anybody else. Like that's the purpose. We're meant to grow. That's the purpose of all life. All life seeks to do this. And we should stop hating on ourselves for that, and treating sex as nothing but a pleasure thing when it's meant to be, like I say, it's meant to be that enhancement of that commitment to that person. Sex isn't supposed to be just a physical thing. And that's the thing too. When your spouse is not being passionate, doesn't want sex, and they're just giving in, you might have sex, but it's no good. Now, is it? Oh, by the way, I guess this episode in particular, I'm gonna have to make sure that I click this one is not for kids. It's not meant for kids, but I don't know. I need to go in after I upload it because the way the PlayStation uploads, I don't think I can. Well, I'll check. But yeah, this one is definitely not for kids. I'm talking about hookup culture. I'm talking about sex to begin with. No, this is not for kids. Maybe my teenage daughters can listen to this one at this point. Yeah, they'd probably be fine listening to this one. They'd probably be a little embarrassed. It's that whole deal of your parent talking to you about sex, right? Like, yeah, I'd get it. But yeah, like sex is supposed to. It's supposed to be about procreation. It's supposed to be about that intimacy with that one partner. It's supposed to be about that commitment. It's about the ultimate trust, the ultimate giving over to that other person, the passion. That's where you'll get the best sex, and then you'll never get that. You'll never get that from hookup culture. In fact, hookup culture is cancer to you ever having that kind of passion, that kind of. Otherwise, you're just getting, like, you're not getting the full. You're only getting, because, like I say, what it's supposed to be is a full encompassing deal. But hookup culture brings it down to just a physical. With the odd person, you'll get a spiritual. You'll get that. But like I say, you're never going to get the full trust, the full giving, because I know you're sleeping with 2 other people right now. Right now. While we're trying to have this experience, I know tomorrow night you're going to go and try and do this again with somebody else. So how can I give myself over? You can't. And so that's why I say, like, hookup culture's bad. It is, you're taking something that's supposed to be so much more and bringing it down into something so much more basic, and you're ruining it. And not only that, like, as we'll go into the next episode, so tune in tomorrow. Yeah, it's about the family. But anyways, if you found yourself enjoying today's episode and find yourself agreeing that hookup culture is bad, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more content, feel free to share, and comment. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Later. Later. Did it. Alright, and then we'll go right into the next one, which we're all geared up for, because that's the family. Hello, and welcome to another episode. I'm Zelmont, and this is my YouTube, where I talk about random stuff and play Ark. Today's episode is going to be a bit of a continuation from yesterday's, and this one is about family is the cornerstone and foundation of Western society. So if you find yourself enjoying today's episode, once again, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more content. Really looking to push subscriber numbers. A couple weeks ago, I was getting subscribers like every other day, and it's been about a week since I got another subscriber. So really love to see those subscribers numbers go up again. So yeah, feel free to share as well. But yeah, I think it's a mistake right now that a lot of different facets of society seem to be attacking the nuclear family, and I think that's a mistake, because the nuclear family is the foundation and cornerstone of Western society, and for good reason. Like, because you got to understand, when you're thinking about the corner, like, this is the foundation of society. This is, and so on that, you're really looking. When it comes to that family, it's it's about the procreation. It's about the supporting each other, and the more immediate you are, the more caring, the more things matter. The more outgrown you get, the more abstract. So when you keep family being a small unit as the center, as the cornerstone, you're able to, it's able to all flow out. Plus the reality is you need an ideal, and if a country isn't growing, then a country is dying. Okay, that's just the honest truth. And like I say, I think everybody pushing this idea that there's too many people in any way, shape, or form, I think they are a detriment to society. And like I say, that's why you have this attack on family, but like you gotta understand, family is the cornerstone of all society. Like if when you start attacking the family, the rest of society will crumble. You can't do that. Like and like I say, family is a good thing. Like you're looking for that ideal, and the ideal, like I say, you want growth. Growth is a big thing, and so you want that procreation. Well, the number one thing for that is a family. Like what's the best thing for children? The best thing for children is the nuclear family. Absolutely, 100% by all studies. And we need to remember this. We need to bring it back, that family is important. It isn't to say to ostracize the single mom or the single dad or the gay couple. No, I'm not saying that at all. Love all, and just because there is a rule doesn't mean that you can't have exceptions to the rule. But you do need to remember, like, family it's the cornerstone, and it's the cornerstone for a reason. And so all of the stuff attacking it needs to stop. It needs to stop. And that's coming from somebody who comes from, like, I have, like, people who've watched my series, they know that I myself come from estranged relationships with my own parents. You know what I mean? Like, but that's neither here, but that doesn't mean that family is wrong. I have really good family too. So like, and family isn't always just about blood, right? In fact, like, the family isn't necessarily, right? Like that initial, because the initial family is a him and a her, ain't it? Well, nuclear family. I'm talking, like I say, I'm talking about the ideal, and I hope people understand, because like, I'm not anti-gay. I'm not, none of it. I'm not I'm very libertarian in that you do you, but I also am somebody that I think I at least attempt to look reality in the face. I don't shirk away from things that might not make. I'd love to believe unicorns are real, but I don't think unicorns are real, right? Except that there is a possibility, however remote. But I don't think unicorns are real, and I accept that, right? The same thing here. Like, there is an ideal, and the ideal is a man and a woman, and they're initially not blood, right? But they care for one another. They have that commitment to one another to always be there for one another, and that's what family is about, right? I'm always going to be there to pick my kids up when they fall. Like, for their whole life, I'm going to be there. That's what family's about. And that's why family is important. That's why family is the core. And like I say, it's that the more immediate things get, the more involved you can be in it. Whereas the wider you get out, the more abstract you get about it. And the more people fall through cracks, right? And the more local, like, like, there's lots of, everybody is different, everybody's circumstance is different, everything in life is different, and the more localized you get, the more you know about all of the various nuances of a thing. So it's good to have that family as the focal point. And like I say, as far as a society is concerned, a society that is not growing is declining. End of story. And once the decline starts, the decline usually goes pretty quick. But yeah, you want growth. You don't necessarily need a lot of growth, but you do want growth. So this whole push is pushing against having kids, of pushing against the family life, pushing against a housewife or house husband. Because the deal is I am accepting that a woman doesn't have to do it. But if a woman doesn't want to do it, she doesn't get to go, well, I don't want a man who's not as successful as me. No, you do. You want a man who wants to stay home and take care of kids. That's what you want. You want a man who wants to sit at home and plan parties and, sit on Pinterest, and that's what you want. But you're looking at him as a loser and are refusing to take him if you're the successful woman. That's the problem with successful women. They want it all. The society is pushing this idea that they can have it all, and no, you can't. Men and women work together. That's the whole point. So if you're going to play the role of the man and be the provider, all the power to you, 100%. But that means your yin is different than the normal woman's yin. You know, because you've chosen yang instead of yin and called it yin, right? Which is fine, but like I say, you still need that duality to work against each other. That's just, and the same I find is true with, on a personal level, with gay couples, where it works better. It doesn't work when you have two of the same. And I mean on a personality level, not because obviously a gay couple are the same on a physical level, right? Obviously, but like on a personality level, I find it works better if one does take more masculine role and one is still that more feminine role. You know what I mean? But it's why? Because family is the cornerstone. We all work together. We all have our roles. And the more localized it is, the more you care about it, the more it matters to you. So you want to keep that, because otherwise we're all just cogs in the machines and nobody cares about anything. You know, this idea that we'll all eat bugs and nobody will own anything and we'll all be happy. Sorry, it's not true. But that's just my thought on it. If you find yourself agreeing and enjoying today's episode, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more content. Like I say, always looking to push them subscribers. And comment, let me know your thoughts, and feel free to share. Until next time, later. And then that gets us in the last episode. Which, we'll see how this goes, because it kind of already went over it in the last one. Oh, yeah, that is one. Hello, I'm Zelmon, and this is this week's last episode. I'm Zelmon, and if you find yourself enjoying today's episode, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more content. Feel free to share and comment in it. Let me know your thoughts. And today's episode is we're going to talk about the purpose of life. Kind of got into this in my earlier episodes this week. I'm just kind of going to continue off of there. I'm not even sure how long we're going to go here, but we'll see. But I find one of the questions that I find that we ask ourselves throughout life, right from a young age all the way on, is why are we here? What's really the purpose of all of this? What's the purpose of life? And even once you have an answer or think you've had an answer, you will find yourself going back and back and back, just re-examining it. Like I myself, I've kind of remained with the same answer for a fairly long time now. I'm really sure of the end, but like I say, as sure as I am, I still find myself re-examining the question from time to time. Especially as I find myself going through different spiritual and journeys, we'll say. But what's the purpose of life? And my answer is the purpose of life is life itself. And this is something that you find repeated throughout life. Like literally every form of life is just trying to go on and on and on. We're all just trying to find some way to live on, to become immortal, to leave our mark, to go on. The purpose of life is life itself. And that's why, for me, it really is like I said in my earlier episodes this week. I really had like a focus on family and having kids and how hookup culture is bad. And that's because I think the purpose of life is life itself. I think we're meant to procreate. I think there's this driving need within all life, and I don't think we're different. Well, I think we're different as everything else is different. You know what I mean? But the patterns of life itself remains within us too, because we're still life. So and yeah, so it's procreation. So family is important, because when you're talking about procreation, when you're talking about continuing generations on and having kids and generation, the best thing for that is the nuclear family. Because, well, for starters, gay couples, not saying that they're a bad thing, but they obviously can't have children themselves. Not, like I say, not at least without bringing in a third wheel of some nature, right? So just for that purpose, you want the two, and then the two being together, and the children being raised in that stable environment where they get to see the mom and the father actually have that proper commitment to each other, actually have that love to each other, actually instill those values of mutual respect for each other, and understanding that there is these different roles that need to be played out. Understanding that life is a yin and a yang. you know, uh, you get that all within that nuclear family. And so, you know, given that I really I view, because you could do the hedonic lifestyle, you can do the I'm just here for fun, but like I say, I've found that when you start, my biggest argument for having kids is just that you can't be 20 forever. That's not the way life is built. Maybe within my lifetime there will be an option of immortality, but even there will be morality of questions of, is it really me? Because it would be through the use of replacement body parts and or machine interface and download. So it will become a question of, is this really still me, or am I just an abomination monster? Right? Like that, really. So like there is going to, right now at least, there straight up is a point of, like, you can't keep this up forever. But life, that generational life that I'm talking about, where you're instilling those values and that's carrying over and that's carrying over, and that, none of that can continue on. Even though, like I carry values and traits from my grandfather, that goes on and goes on and goes on, and like you share that through that nuclear family. And like I say, and it's also why hookup culture is bad, because that hookup culture, you're not getting that commitment. You'll never get that commitment. Plus, the reality is, once again, like where I'm on that moral level of, life begins at, I accept the scientific reality that life begins at conception, and therefore, I'm pro-life, because, just, and in that, like, I don't want people to understand, I'm not pro-life. I'm not going and standing in front of the abortion clinic. You know what? I hope that anyone going into that abortion clinic is already wrought with questions. You know what I mean? Like, and so I don't want to contribute to that anymore. I understand that, like, and like I say, but that's also why I'm pro-life. In like, I don't think that it should be used as a form of birth control. I don't think that it should be thought of as being, I don't think it should be used willy-nilly. I think it should have that implication of, you are ending a life. Is this really, really what you have to do? If you're questioning it, and okay, well, fine, I'll probably stay out of it. But if it was voted on, I would vote pro-life 100%. Because I stand where it is a life, and it is that moral question. If you're asking me the moral question, I think it's life. I think it's a life, and I think you're ending a life, and I think we have double standards on that deal. And I think hookup culture is bad, because you're risking creating a life for hedonic pleasure in a activity that's meant to be so much more than that. You're diminishing something that's so much, that's supposed to be the pinnacle of all, and you've diminished it down to this lustful need that isn't even a true need. Like, that's the thing, people. You also need to... Don't get me wrong. I get it. Like, you actually do have a longing, but it's not a real need on the same level of I need to eat, I need to drink, I need clothes to withstand the cold. You know? It's not a need like that. It's a need that has many outlets that don't actually require you to exist within a hookup culture. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to, like, this is the but yeah. But anyways, there's the time. So yeah, if you found yourself enjoying and agreeing that the purpose of life is life itself, and that should kind of guide our views and perspective on the rest of it, don't forget to leave a like. Feel free to share, comment, let me know your thoughts, and until next week, later. And don't forget to check out the SuperCut this weekend. Later. Yeah. So there you go. That's it. And I think we're probably sitting around. Well, we'll see. I feel like we're sitting around 45, 50-ish minutes. I think that's how long we got going into this all together. So it should be a decent supercut. And I hope people enjoy the supercut. If you enjoy the supercut, please leave a like on the supercut and subscribe for more content. Feel free to share the supercut. And yeah, until the next supercut, we gotta do a different dance because we gotta signify the end of the supercut. Well, actually, I guess there is no end to the supercut, is there? Because it's the supercut. But I'm trying to. There we go. All right. Yeah, but until next week with my next supercut. Later.